Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create the animated GIF for the Aperture assignments. Let's get started. You can see I'm here in my Aperture 1 folder, or whatever folder I need to be in. And here are my 6 photos. I'm just going to check real quick to make sure my f-stops are all good. You can see that right here at the bottom in the metadata. And if you can't see that, just pull this tab up right here and that'll show up. So I just want to make sure I've got 5.6, 8, 11, 16, 22, and 32. I do. Good. It's a lot easier if you only have these 6 photos in this folder. So if you've got extra photos in here, maybe delete them or move them to a different folder. Get it so that you only have the 6 photos you need in this folder. All right, here we go. Let's go to Photoshop, and the first thing we want to do is go to Window, Workspace, and make sure that we are on the Motion workspace. Basically what we need is this timeline. So if for whatever reason this timeline is not here for you, you can just come up here to go to Window and check this box right here that says timeline, but we need this. And rather than adding our images by going to File, Open, we're not going to do that. We're going to add them by clicking on this little dude down here in the timeline and choosing Add Media. This box is going to pop up. We'll find the folder that has our 6 images in it, press Control A to select all 6 of them, and then just press Open, and they will load up in the timeline. All right, the first thing I need to do is I need to just change the duration that each of my clips shows up for. This can be easier if you zoom in on the timeline with this little slider right here. You don't need to zoom in a ton, but you basically want to just stretch out each of your clips so you can see a good portion of each clip. And then I'm just going to grab this right here on the right edge of this first clip. I'm going to drag this over, and I'm looking for that duration box to say 15 seconds. I'm going to ignore the box that says end. That's the total time. I'm only worried about getting the duration of each clip to 15 seconds. Sorry, not 15 seconds, 15 frames. All right, I've got all my clips sized to 15 frames, making it much shorter. You can push the play button to kind of see how it's looking, and you should start to see your background become more in focus as it goes from left to right here, and that's exactly what we want to happen. Now we just need to add some text. Before we do that, we need to add a new video group because we want our text to show up on top of the photos that are already there. So what I'm going to do is click on this little button right here, and this time I'm going to choose New Video Group. And you see that kind of creates a new layer, which is basically allows me to put stuff above my photos in here. So what I'm going to do now is just grab my text tool and come up here, and maybe in the top right hand corner I'll click. I need a big font, maybe like 300 or so. Let's see how that looks. And I'm going to type in the f-stop that was used for this first photo. For me that was f5.6. And remember, to tell Photoshop you're done typing, you just press the enter key by the numbers. So I'll press that. But there you go, I got my f5.6. I am now going to come down here, and I need to change the time this clip shows up to be 15 seconds. And the cool thing is it will automatically snap to the length of the clip below it. So that's actually pretty simple. Now I need this same text to show up 5 more times. And the easiest way to do that is to just duplicate this layer over and over. And if I do that, I'm going to click right here and drag this down to the new layer button and then let go. You see that gives me a 5.6 copy, and it gives me a second one out here. So I'm just going to keep doing that, always copying the new one until I have all 6 of them. There you go. And then remember, in order to edit the text of a clip, you have to not only click on the clip, but you have to also put the playhead over it. Then I'll just grab the text tool and I'll come in. Remember, you got to move the cursor nice and close to the text before until those little dots around the cursor disappear. That's how you know when you can edit your text. So I'm going to get that nice and close, select, and I'll turn this to F8. Then again, press the enter key by the numbers to tell Photoshop I'm done typing. Come to the next one, F11. Come to the next one, F16. And I'm just going to go through and do all of these. F22. And lastly, F32. Now we just need to add a little bit more text, and again we want this text to show up on top, but we're going to have this text run through the entire video, the same text, which means we need a new video group. So we're going to click on this again, do new video group, and maybe expand this out so we can see all our video groups at the same time. And this time we'll be on video group 3, and I'm just going to grab my type tool and come down here at the bottom, and I'm just going to put focal length 55 millimeters and distance from camera 3 feet. And you can see that went off the edge there, so I'll press Control A to select it all. And I'm just going to make a smaller font here so that it fits. There you go. Press the Enter key by the numbers, and then just shorten this down so it's the same length as my entire video. And there we go. We are done and ready to export this bad boy. Maybe put a little dash in there. Move this over. And turn this into a GIF file. So to do that, of course, we just go to File, Export, Save for Web, Legacy. We're going to change the preset right here to GIF 128 dithered. This is going to be pretty slow because this is a huge file, but we're going to shrink it down, don't worry, but don't be surprised if this moves a little slowly when you're doing it. Change my colors from 128 to 256, and then let's shrink the image size down substantially. Let's change this to like 1000, and that should be it. Go ahead and hit save. And obviously you're going to just save this in your folder. And I'm just going to call this Aperture 1. And go ahead and hit save. And you are good to go. You probably want to save this video file as a PSD just in case you have some issues and you need to go back and fix it. So let's go ahead and hit File, Save. And just make sure that we also save this as our Aperture 1 GIF. And save that as a PSD file, and you are good to go.